The message popped up on my phone at 9:17 p.m. Going on a sudden trip with my ex. Hope you're okay. Love you. For a moment, I thought I had misread it. My thumb hovered over the screen, the words blurring as my chest tightened. She said it so casually, like she was telling me she was running out for groceries. My wife, Emma, had just informed me she was leaving town with her ex-boyfriend, and she hoped I was okay with it. My first instinct wasn't anger. It was disbelief. I stared at the message, waiting for a just kidding follow-up, or a laughing emoji to appear. Nothing came. Only the silence of our bedroom, broken by the faint hum of the ceiling fan. I typed back, no problem. 2 words I instantly regretted. I lay in bed, my phone still warm in my hand, trying to convince myself it wasn't as bad as it sounded. Maybe it was for work. Maybe her ex had connections she needed. Maybe I was just being paranoid. But deep down, in the part of me I didn't want to face, I knew something was wrong. Emma and I had been married for 7 years. We'd built a life filled with routines. Sunday morning coffee at the cafe on Main, movie nights with pizza, lazy mornings when neither of us wanted to leave the bed. She used to smile at me like I was the only person who mattered. Somewhere in the past year, that smile had dimmed. The next morning, she was gone before I woke up. On the kitchen counter sat a note. Don't wait up. I'll call when I can. No details. No explanation. Just a promise of a call. I tried to distract myself, burying my hands in unfinished work emails, cleaning the garage, even mowing the lawn twice. But my mind kept circling back to one question. Why her ex? That evening, I called her. Straight to voicemail. I tried again. Same thing. By the 3rd day, I stopped pretending I was okay. I drove to her sister's house. Maybe she knew something. When Anna opened the door, her expression shifted from surprise to guilt in a split second. Hey, I said, forcing calm into my voice. Have you heard from Emma? Anna hesitated. She mentioned a trip. With her ex. She bit her lip, eyes flicking away. That silence told me everything. What aren't you saying, Anna? She looked down, her voice almost a whisper. I think you should ask Emma. My stomach sank. That night, lying alone in our bed, I replayed every moment of our marriage. The little fights, the long silences, the way her phone seemed glued to her hand lately. How many times had I brushed off my instincts because I didn't want to seem insecure? How many times had I convinced myself that love was enough to keep someone from leaving? On the 4th day, she finally called. Hey, she said, her voice too light, too practiced. Where are you? I asked. Just out of town. With Mark. Her ex. The name felt like a stone lodged in my throat. Why? A pause. We needed to talk. About old things. Closure. Closure requires a weekend trip? My voice cracked despite my efforts to sound calm. It's complicated, she murmured. Please trust me. But the thing about trust is, once the doubt slips in, it grows like poison. On the 7th day, she came home. She walked through the door like nothing had happened, tossing her bag on the couch. She smelled of hotel soap and perfume I didn't recognize. Hi, she said softly. I stood in the living room, arms crossed, heart pounding. So how was your trip? Her eyes darted away. It was fine. We talked. Cleared the air. Cleared the air. I repeated. That's what you call disappearing for a week with another man? She flinched. You said it was no problem. Because I didn't know what else to say. My voice rose. Do you even hear yourself? You left your husband for closure with your ex. Tears welled in her eyes, but I couldn't tell if they were real or rehearsed. I didn't mean to hurt you. Then what did you mean to do? Silence. That night, I couldn't sleep. I watched her breathe beside me, her face turned away, and all I could think was, who was she thinking about during that trip? Me or him? The next morning, I found her phone on the counter while she showered. My hands shook as I picked it up. I knew I shouldn't, but I couldn't live in uncertainty anymore. The messages were there. Dozens of them. Late-night confessions, jokes only lovers share, pictures I couldn't unsee. She hadn't just gone for closure. She had gone to rekindle what we had lost. The betrayal burned through me like fire. When she walked out of the bathroom, towel wrapped around her hair. She froze at the sight of her phone in my hand. James, she whispered. I looked at her, my voice low, trembling. How long? Her lips parted, closed, then parted again. Finally she whispered, months. My knees nearly gave out. Months. All those quiet dinners, all those nights I reached for her and she turned away. It wasn't distance. It was him. I loved you, I said, choking on the words. I still love you, she said quickly, tears streaming down her face. No, I shook my head. You love the idea of me. The stability. The home. But you don't love me. Not enough to stay loyal. She sobbed, reaching for my hand. Please, James. I made a mistake. I don't want to lose you. I pulled back. You already did. The days that followed were a blur of numbness. Friends tried to comfort me. My mother told me to fight for my marriage. But how do you fight for something that's already shattered? Trust, once broken, can't be glued back together without leaving cracks. One evening, I sat in the living room, staring at our wedding photo. Her eyes sparkled in that picture, her smile radiant. Back then, I believed we were forever. Now forever felt like a cruel joke. I took off my wedding ring, placed it on the table, and whispered to the empty room, no problem. But this time, I meant it differently. Not as permission. As release. Emma begged. She pleaded. She promised it was over with him. Maybe it was. But every time I looked at her, I saw the hotel rooms, the messages, the lies whispered in the dark. One night, as she cried beside me, asking for another chance, I said the words I never thought I'd say. I forgive you, but I can't stay. Her sobs broke the silence. But I felt strangely calm. It was the calm of a man who had been gutted, healed with scars, and realized he deserved more than half-hearted love. The day I moved out, I didn't look back. The betrayal had torn me apart, but it also set me free. Love shouldn't feel like doubt, like checking your phone at midnight, like wondering who she's really thinking about. It should feel safe. It should feel like home. And for the first time in months, as I drove away from the house we built together, I realized I wasn't broken. I was beginning again.